Welcome back to another edition of TRIVI-yeah. I am your host, Dean Felix. Thank you so much for joining me. This is, of course, the podcast where you can learn something new, feel good about the things you already know, and maybe find that special someone. Not sure how, but anything is possible here on TRIVI-yeah. First things, of course, very first, the answer to last week's bonus question is the quarter pounder with cheese. That was an easy question. If you don't know what that question was, then I suggest you go back, listen to the previous episode. The bonus question is at the very end. You can decide for yourself whether or not it was too easy. 10 multiple choice questions coming your way as we go down that rabbit hole of trivia knowledge. Guys, I'm very excited to say that we have chapters now, chapters. So hey, if you're sick of listening to me yapping, if you're like, what is this dude talking about? Come on, man, get to the trivia. You can jump ahead. See, there's chapters down there on the timeline. You can go skip ahead to the opening monologue, skip ahead to question 1. You can skip ahead to question 6 if you want. I don't care, no rules here. I just ask that if you don't want to hear me talking, don't just close the pod, guys. There is trivia. It's here. You can find it down there. My eyes are up here. My trivia is down there. Speaking of yapping, guys, the questions are shorter this episode. I decided I was talking a little bit too much. I've cut them down. The opening monologue is still opening monologue length because, hey, that's how we get into the show. That's my special stuff. I'm not going to shorten that. But the questions, they're shorter, and I think that they're a little bit easier this time. I feel like my difficulty got a little bit too hard. What can I say? I was learning new stuff. I got a little excited about learning. All right, it's time for everyone's second favorite segment. Do you have a friend? Would you please tell a friend? Tell them about the show, then I would be your friend. But you don't have to tell me about the show, cause I make the show that you should tell your friend all about. Thanks. That's right, it's the segment where I beg. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. I do appreciate it, and I'm trying to build an audience here, so if you would please help me out. If you like this show, tell a friend about the show. Say, hey, there's this podcast, this trivia podcast. I kind of dig it. Check it out. If you hate the show, tell a friend about it. Say, hey, there's this podcast. It's terrible. You won't believe how bad it is. It's like listening to the world's slowest train wreck. You got to hear this crap. If you are kind of on the fence about the show, tell a friend about the show. Say, hey, there's this show that's just like so vanilla, so middle of the road. You won't believe how milquetoast the whole thing is. You gotta check it out. I would really appreciate that. Once again, thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. I will marry you all if you will have me as your bride. I said last week that I would check out the podcast, Yeah Dude, hosted by Jonathan Larroquette, John Larroquette's son, and I did. I listened to it, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's fine. It's two smart dudes just talking to each other the entire time. Like, basically what half of all podcasts are, essentially, only theirs has an audience because they were one of the first ones to do it. And, I mean, good for them. Good for them making that work. Good for them. I'm very happy for them. No, it's fine. It's good, I guess. I realize that my praise for the show is waning the farther I go. Look, I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of them and their success. The show was fine. It was good. No, it was good. I did not hate it. It was good. Okay, did I dig myself out of the hole? Good. Then let's play a little trivia, right after this. Welcome back to Trivia. I am Dean Felix. This opening portion of the show contains spoilers for the second season of Peacemaker on HBO. So if you want to avoid those spoilers, just pause the pod and then you can jump ahead by using the chapters down on the timeline. All right? Okay, I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, we good? Here we go. The big reveal in season 2 of Peacemaker happened in episode 6. Earth X, the alternate world from another dimension that Peacemaker embraces, is run by Nazis. Soon after this was revealed, the video game Fortnite pulled a Peacemaker skin from its shop after some people viewed one of his emotes as containing Nazi imagery. Okay, I know I just said a lot of confusing things right there, so let me try to clear things up here. In the game Fortnite, you can purchase different skins to play as. Basically, you can play as Peacemaker in the game. You can make your character look like him. And each character skin has these emotes, which are like gestures or dance moves that your character can do that you can see and other players playing the game can also see. In the opening credits for Peacemaker each episode, the entire cast does a choreographed dance. It's super great. I love it so much. This dance, it's choreographed by Carissa Barton, who is married to Alan Tudyk, who I talked about in the bonus question of the first episode. How cool is that couple, huh? It's amazing. Anyway, in the opening credits, one of the first dance moves that Peacemaker does is stretching his arms out to the side and then bending them at the elbows, with one arm pointing up while the other arm points down, and then switching between the two. While it never occurred to me that this could resemble a swastika, I can definitely see how it could be interpreted that way. So this was the dance move, emote, that caused a stir, that they pulled the whole thing over once the reveal of the show happened. The Peacemaker skin has since been brought back and is available again, only without this particular emote. The creators of the opening sequence dance and the makers of the Fortnite skin have said that this particular move was never intended to look like a swastika. Though many people refuse to believe this, we'll probably never know if it was actually intentional or not, but I can definitely see this as just being a coincidence. As humans, we've evolved to find patterns in things, and it often causes us to see these patterns when they aren't really there. It's all a part of our natural curiosity. We have this drive to learn about the world and the universe and ourselves. It's why we find curiosity in other animals to be so endearing. We can relate to it. And I'd even go a step further. I don't think that it's any coincidence that the most intelligent species we know of in the universe, ourselves, has this intense drive toward curiosity. I like to believe that the universe's main reason for creating life in the first place is to learn about itself. It's a nice thought. All right. Get ready to dance because it's time for question one. Time for question one. It's time for question one. Viking 1 was a spacecraft sent to Mars in 1975, arriving almost a year later. Consisting of an orbiter and lander, Viking 1 gave us our first up-close images of the Martian surface, including one rather spooky image from the Cydonia region, taken by the orbiter. Known as the face on Mars, shadows on a mesa gave the appearance of a human face, helped further by a black spot made by a data error creating a well-placed nostril. Over 20 years later, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter would send back a higher resolution image of the mesa, confirming that the human face was merely an optical illusion. What a bummer. The face on Mars is a famous example of our tendency to see familiar patterns, very often faces, in random visual stimuli. What do we call this tendency? A. Bystander effect. B. Confirmation bias. C. Pareidolia. Or D. Framing. The answer is C. Pareidolia. It's the reason why we see animal shapes in clouds, why we refer to the man in the moon, and why there are so many shows about ghost hunters. Almost half of Americans believe in ghosts, by the way, or at least admit to it, and 1 in 5 claim to have actually seen a ghost. Now, I've always wondered why ghost stories so often involve them haunting houses. What's so important about being indoors if you're a ghost? I bet if these ghosts went outside more often, they'd be able to move on to the afterlife, right? Just like us, ghosts need to go outside and touch grass. Or float above it.
No need for excitement or hullabaloo. It's just question two.
The song Man on the Moon by REM is the second single from their 8th album, Automatic for the People, released in 1992. A mid-tempo country rock song, Man on the Moon is filled with cultural references and imagery, as opposed to just a straight lyrical story. The song touches on conspiracy theories surrounding the moon landing and the death of Elvis Presley, along with the primary subject of the song, who had their own ambiguities surrounding their life, career, and death. This performer's controversial work as an artist is used as a framework in the song to discuss some of the great, unanswerable questions of life. Mentioned by name many times in the song, who is this enigmatic personality highlighted in REM's Man on the Moon? A. Sam Kinison. B. Andy Kaufman. C. Spalding Gray. D. Dennis Oppenheim. The answer is B. Andy Kaufman. Man on the Moon later was used as the title of the Andy Kaufman biography from 1999 starring Jim Carrey with what is reported as an extremely method performance as Andy. Carey stayed in character for the entire 4-month performance, which was said to be very difficult to deal with for his castmates and the crew, particularly when he became Andy's abrasive alter ego, Tony Clifton. The critics' reviews for the film Man on the Moon were mixed, netting a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes, which sounds about right for an Andy Kaufman bio. Universal acclaim was never his thing. For the truly great artists, it rarely is.
Question 3.
I used to think that we only dreamed during REM sleep, and maybe you did too. REM, of course, stands for rapid eye movement, though most eye movement during REM sleep is less rapid than while you are awake. Now, you can dream in all stages of sleep, though during REM, your dreams are likely to be more vivid and memorable. These are the dreams that you're boring your friends with stories about later. Yeah, so I was in my old elementary school, but it wasn't my elementary school, but it was, right? And you were there, but it wasn't you, but it was you, and oh my God, it was just amazing. Wait till you hear this. Oh, sorry. All right. Which of the following things that might happen in our sleep does not happen during the REM sleep cycle? A. Sleepwalking. B. Snoring. C. Sleep paralysis. Or D. Drooling. The answer is A. Sleepwalking. Sleepwalking happens during the slow wave stage and can include talking, sitting up, walking to the bathroom, eating, cleaning, or in extremely dangerous instances, driving or forming a fight club.
Why are we here? Where are we going? Who is behind all of this? What should I get for lunch? What is this question for?
Sleepwalk with Me is a 2012 film written, starring, and directed by comedian Mike Birbiglia. It's a fictionalized telling of Birbiglia's real-life struggles with a sleep disorder that causes chronic, dangerous sleepwalking events that often coincide with relationship issues between himself and his longtime girlfriend. The cast includes a lot of appearances from comedy staples such as Mark Maron, David Wayne, Kristen Schaal, and Carol Kane, who plays his mother. His sister is played by an actress who you might know as the titular mother in the CBS sitcom How I Met Your Mother, and who won the 2025 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie for her performance as Sophia Falcone in the HBO crime drama series The Penguin. Who is this actress? A. Thaisa Farmiga. B. Hannah Einbinder. C. Kristen Milioti. Or D. Chloe Sevigny. The answer is C. Kristen Milioti. Sleepwalk with Me began as an off-Broadway one-man show that blended stand-up comedy with theater, which the New York Times called simply perfect. As for the film, the Times gave it a respectable Metacritic score of 70. Less perfect, but perfection is the enemy of progress, and making progress is a good thing. Just not when you're sleeping.
Hey, fellas, wait till you hear this. Oh my gosh. Oh, don't say. I can't believe it.
What y'all talking about over there?
Nothing. We were just talking about question 5.
Well, shoot. Penguins. We love them, don't we, folks? We love them so much that they can't stop making movies with penguins in them. March of the Penguins, March of the Penguins 2, Happy Feet, Happy Feet 2, Mary Poppins Returns, Mr. Popper's Penguins, Madagascar, Madagascar Escape to Africa, Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted, Penguins of Madagascar, the Madagascar Penguins in a Christmas Caper. I'll stop there because the list is basically endless. As for types of penguins, there are 28. One of them shares a name with a style of facial hair. Which of the following well-groomed penguin species is real? A. Chinstrap penguins. B. Van Dyke penguins. C. Handlebar penguins. Or D. Mutton chops penguins. The answer is A. Chinstrap penguins. With a thin black line of feathers under their chins that connects to the black tops of their heads, chinstrap penguins appear to be wearing cute little army helmets, though they offer little protection from attacks by flying killer whales. beards and mustaches are back, baby. Something happened in the early to mid 20th century that made facial hair fall out of fashion. And I think it was razor technology. Seriously. Not having to trust yourself or someone else with a straight razor to get a shave is a pretty nice luxury that we don't think about at all these days. Clean-shaven faces became so prominent that beards began getting an unfair reputation as being dirty. I'm assuming because they implied that a man wasn't doing his morning washing, which is when most face shaving is done. Also, the hippie movement probably did not help. But times they do be a-changin', and like I said, beards and mustaches are back, baby! Every Major League Baseball team allows facial hair on their players now, but this was not always the case. The Miami Marlins implemented a no facial hair policy in 2016, but then dropped it the following year. 2 other teams had a no whiskers policy dating further back. The Cincinnati Reds started theirs in 1967, and it ended in 1999. This other baseball team had a strict no beards policy since 1976, which they didn't get rid of until February of this year, 2025. Which Major League Baseball team am I talking about? A. The St. Louis Cardinals. B. The New York Yankees. C. The San Diego Padres. Or D. The Los Angeles Dodgers. The answer is B. The Yankees. There's no salary cap in Major League Baseball, giving a lot of freedom to top free agents to choose where they want to play, and the Yankees were historically the league's biggest spenders. Other teams have caught up with the spending recently, so the Yankees felt it was time to be less stringent with their appearance rules so they don't miss out on top talent, which never used to be an issue. I'm not sure what my beloved low-budget Cincinnati Reds were thinking for so long. Hi, I've got some great news. You just died. And gone to question 7. Humans don't really have whiskers, or vibrissae, to get technical. We lost our whisker genes around 800,000 years ago when early prehistoric couches were invented. As we evolved to walk upright, and we started putting our grimy hands all over everything, we no longer needed whiskers. And we aren't the only whiskerless mammals. There are 2 other mammalian species to never have whiskers at any stage of their life. One is the duck-billed platypus, which has electroreceptors in its bill, serving many of the same purposes as whiskers do. What is the other species of mammal that doesn't have whiskers? A. Chimpanzees. B. Echidnas. C. Dolphins. Or D. Mole rats. The answer is B. Echidnas. Echidnas also have varying amounts of electroreceptors in their beaks. Echidnas do not have teeth, but they do have extremely long, sticky tongues, which are good for grabbing insects and giving each other long-distance wet willies. There we go. That's 20 points, plus used all my tiles. That's another 50 for 70 points.
It's not a word.
Yes, it is.
It's not a word.
It is a word.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
All right.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
You'll see.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, here it is. Look. To ask a lot of questions is to questionate.
I told you! Some echidnas are found in New Guinea, and both echidnas and duck-billed platypus is... platypi? I don't know. They're found in Australia. Hold on, looking it up here. Platypuses. Okay. I was right the first time. Yeah. The Commonwealth of Australia was formed in 1901 and slowly gained autonomy from the United Kingdom over the following century until the Australia Act 1986 formally severed all legal ties between the two. It's the 6th largest country in the world, but only the 54th most populous, with the population most heavily concentrated along the southeastern coastline, where all the platypuses are. Here's a beautiful basic trivia question for you, mate. Was that good? What is the capital of Australia? A. Perth. B. Adelaide. C. Brisbane. Or D. Canberra. The answer is D. Canberra. Being in the southern hemisphere, Canberra's winter months are June through August. And according to Australia.com, winter in Canberra is cold, with average temperatures ranging from 1 to 12 degrees Celsius or 34 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. I used to live in Detroit, where in the wintertime the snow never melted. Comparably, Canberra is downright balmy. Like Detroit, Canberra does have an ice hockey team in the Australian Ice Hockey League, or AIHL. They're called the Canberra Brave, and they got the name Brave because they aren't afraid of drowning during a match. The hardest part about being a trivia podcast host isn't coming up with the interesting questions. It's staying hydrated. So when I get thirsty, I always reach for a cool, refreshing glass of Question 9. Famous New York Yankees catcher Yogi Berra considered suing Hanna-Barbera when the cartoon character Yogi Bear was introduced. But Hanna-Barbera claimed that the similarity between their names was just a coincidence. The Hanna-Barbera executives conceived of the character Yogi Bear while planting poplar trees in the joint security area of the DMZ with former North Korean President Kim Il-sung. And that excellent joke is a callback to episode 1. And this sound is me high-fiving myself. Accompanied by his diminutive sidekick Boo Boo Bear, Yogi Bear was always in pursuit of picnic baskets, or as Yogi might say,
"Hey there, Boo Boo. Let's go get us a picnic basket."
That was perfect, by the way, perfect. Though Yogi's nefarious plots to steal picnic baskets were consistently foiled by Park Ranger Smith, and his antics were disapproved of by his on-off love interest. Yet, despite her disdain for his bad boy bear behavior, in most episodes she romantically pursued Yogi while he would evade her advances. That's just nature for you. What is the name of Yogi's, let's call her, girlfriend? A. Betty Bear. B. Julie Bear. C. Cindy Bear. Or D. Marilyn Bear. The answer is C. Cindy Bear. Often wearing a kerchief, a skirt, a daisy in her hair, and carrying a parasol, Cindy Bear first appeared in Acrobati Yogi as a circus performer. In this episode, it's Yogi who pursues his old girlfriend Cindy, joining the circus to impress her. It works, but as soon as she returns his affection, he decides that he isn't into her anymore. Cartoon bears, they're just like us.
You must retrieve the relic, for without it we are all doomed. It can be found in the Forbidden Temple in the ancient city of Shun-Ten.
So, that would make this, Quest Shun-Ten then, huh?
You know what? Forget the relic. Just leave.
A boo-boo might refer to a minor injury, but it might also mean a mistake, or a blunder, or a gaffe, or a faux pas. When you make a boo-boo, you might say oops. You also might say oops if someone else makes a boo-boo. Oops was derived from the older English phrase oopsie-daisy, which is the shortened version of up-a-daisy. This was used as reassurance to someone who made a boo-boo, like a small child falling down. You'd pick them back up while saying up-a-daisy. The earliest evidence of this phrase being used is from 1711 in the writing of the Dean of St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin, who is probably better known as being the author of Gulliver's Travels. Who is this famous satirist? A. Jonathan Swift. B. Daniel Defoe. C. William Butler Yeats. Or D. David Hume. The answer is A. Jonathan Swift. In Gulliver's Travels, one of the lands that Gulliver goes to is a land filled with intelligent, rational horses who live among primitive, brutish, human-like creatures called yahoos. Nowadays, the term yahoo is used by people with primitive email addresses, or maybe yelled when going down a water slide. Now there's a decent way to impress someone you like. Take them to a water park, or a baseball game, or to the zoo to see the whiskerless echidnas, or a Canberra Brave match. I'm not saying that joining the circus won't work. I'm just saying it's kind of a big step to take, because what you think you see in someone right now, maybe upon closer inspection, you'll discover wasn't really ever there to begin with. Bonus, 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 bonus question time. One of the most famous optical illusions is this room, which you view with one eye through a peephole, and you look at two people, each one standing in a different corner on the far wall. And they'll appear to be extremely different sizes, one gigantic person and one very small person. Well, the room looks to be ordinarily rectangular in shape, but its walls, floor, and ceiling are slanted and angled in a way that tricks the brain's depth perception. It's tricky. Tricky, 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 tricky. This distorted room has been used for special effects in movies like The Lord of the Rings, where they made the hobbits appear to be much smaller than the wizard Gandalf. Named for its inventor, what is this illusory room called? No multiple choice, no countdown timer. Now this is a tough one, so if you don't know it, you'll have to go down your own rabbit hole of trivia knowledge, or you can join me for next week's episode where I will have the answer for you at the beginning of the show. And that's the end of our episode. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you being here. If you'd like to email the pod, you can. TRIVI-yeah-podcast@gmail.com. That's TRIVIYEAHPODCAST@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Share with me some trivia. Correct any of my mistakes. Send me maps to buried treasure. Anything you want, guys. Almost anything. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, rate full stars, leave me a comment or review. I would love that, please. Thank you so much. And tell your friends about the show. I know you got a friend that likes playing games or going to bar trivia night. Tell them about your boy Dean over here. I would be forever grateful. Thank you. Guys, TRIVI-yeah is written and produced by me. I am your host, Dean Felix. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you back again next week for a new episode of TRIVI-yeah, which is, of course, a quality yarn production.